Portal to Hell. I just love that. It's like here's a movie, it's called Portal to Hell. And here's the weird thing. Yeah, there's a portal to hell in this movie. It is treated so casually. It's kind of amazing. So this is a horror comedy. It chiefly stars relative newcomers Romina Dugo and Trey Holland. Uh, Holland plays this guy named Dunn, who is a debt collector. Like he's the guy who calls you and says, "Hey, you all owe this money," and they've contacted me to contract me out to collect on your debts. And of course, he gets berated incessantly by the people he calls because he's harassing them. It's his job to do that. But he's trying to do the best he can. He's a genuinely nice guy, and he goes across the street from his apartment building, goes to the laundromat, meets up with the lady who works there. Her name is Ed. That's Romina Dugo, and all of a sudden, one of the dryers just turns into a portal to hell. Fire and screaming and all this ominous stuff behind it. Just a dryer in the middle of the laundromat. And we're like, what the hell is all this about? But again, there's like, it's not this whole thing like, oh my God, what is this? Let's explore it. It's like, is that a portal to hell? I think it's a portal to hell. It's like very casual about it. So a demon comes out of the portal by the name of Chip. He's played by Richard Kind, who's one of the greatest character actors out there. The demon is there to collect the soul of Dunn's neighbor, Mr. Bob Shank, who's played by one of the other greatest character actors of all time, Keith David. Absolutely immaculate. Dunn's like, but why would Mr. Bob Shank go to hell? He's a very nice guy. Everybody loves him. Chip's like, well, he owes a debt. He did something. He owes a debt. So Dunn kind of makes a deal with him. It's like, if you give me 3 souls in exchange, shove them through the portal, then I can let him go. And then it just becomes this weird, insane comedy of not just finding potential victims to put in the portal, but how easily they accept their situation. I mean, there's one character who, as soon as he realizes what's going on, it's like, oh no, dude, how did you know I was a Satanist? This is awesome. It's like, and he just gleefully jumps into the portal. Like, what's going on here? The performances are really great across the board. The writing is spectacular. Like, this is very funny, but also sneakily poignant because there are a couple of moments where Richard Kind interacts with Trey Hyland, basically kind of, as like status updates, and he's being his normal Richard Kindy self, just a complete mensch. But he does clue us into like some weird theories about what the afterlife might entail, as to who goes to heaven and hell and why, and it all becomes about whether you're able to forgive your own debts, which is, of course, a very relevant topic in just economically today for so many people. But it's like, it's not whether you did something good or bad. It's how you feel about what you did, be it good or bad, how much it weighs down on you. And that's incredibly profound in the middle of this comedy where Michael McDonald from Mad TV gets his arm ripped off. It's very. I'm amazed at how well the film juggled the tones of what's going on here, to be so funny, but also very sneakily, resonant about how much pain we put on ourselves for things we might have done. It's like it's amazing to, in the same breath, have a contemplation about suicide, and then have Keith David deliver like the moral of the story, which is literally watch your own dick. It's okay. I loved every second of this, and sharing this with, again, like 300 people in an empty soundstage. Laugh, riot. Everybody is just falling over themselves. This is amazing. Like, I would say this is probably the most mainstream film that I saw at the festival. The one most likely to get picked up by some kind of a distributor. And even then, probably it would just end up on Hulu or something, maybe on Shudder, because again, it is horror comedy. But this is something like really special. Like I'm you're mixing new actors with established veterans, and they're doing something just so bonkers that you can't help but just be transfixed by it, and then it hits you in the heart in a way that you honestly would never consider, much less expect. Like I was genuinely floored by this.
This is the BTRP Media Network.